and welcome to Human Anatomy and Physiology 2. Today we will be starting our second unit, Cardiovascular System 1, Cardiac Anatomy and Physiology. The objectives of this unit include describing the histology of cardiac tissue, describing the anatomic structures of the heart, tracing the pathway of blood flow through the heart, identifying the components of the cardiac conduction system, describing the essential elements of the electrocardiogram, also referred to as the EKG, measuring blood pressure using a stethoscope and sphygmomanometer, describing the parameters used to calculate cardiac output. The cardiovascular system is a complex structure that is responsible for transporting oxygen, nutrients, water, and solutes to the tissues of the body. This system also is responsible for transporting waste products from tissues for excretion. This incredible system, or mechanism, pumps approximately 8,000 liters of blood around the body per day. In this unit, you will be introduced to the histology of cardiac tissue, anatomy of the heart, and blood flow through the heart. You will also learn about the cardiac conduction system and will be finishing the unit by learning how to measure blood pressure. In exercise 2-1, you will be acknowledging and learning more about the basic histology of cardiac tissue. In this exercise, you will be learning about the particular characteristics of cardiac tissue that differ from skeletal muscle tissue. These differences can be seen within the cells of cardiac muscle, commonly referred to as cardiac myocytes. The nuclei of these cells are typically located within the center of the cell and contain specialized adaptations called intercalcated discs that contain components that allow the cells to communicate chemically and electrically. It is this specific adaptation that allows the heart to contract as a unit. After learning about the histology of cardiac tissue, in exercise 2-2, you will be examining the anatomy of the heart. In this exercise, you will be examining the 3 layers of the heart, the chambers of the heart, the septums within the heart, as well as the valves. As you investigate each of these structures, be sure to note where exactly these structures are and what their specific function is in the overall function of the heart. After looking at these cardiac anatomical structures, you will further your knowledge and observe the vessels of the coronary circulation, coronary arteries, and cardiac veins. Now it's time for you to apply what you've learned. Within exercise 2-2, figure 2.3 and 2.4 showcase anatomical hearts unlabeled. Use the knowledge you've gained to fill in those labels using the provided word banks. Understanding blood flow through the heart is a critical component to understanding the cardiovascular system. As you continue through exercise 2-2, be sure to pay attention to how the blood flows through the heart and where the blood goes at each step. To put it simply, remember, deoxygenated blood travels from the body to the heart, travels within the heart to the lungs where it becomes oxygenated, and from the lungs to the heart where it eventually returns to the body. Knowing exactly how and where the blood travels through the heart is a pivotal component to thoroughly understanding the cardiovascular system. We've been talking about what the heart is made up of and how blood moves throughout it for a bit now, so let's turn our focus to another important component in the cardiovascular system, the cardiac conduction system. In exercise 2-3, you're going to learn further about the specific type of cardiac myocytes, non-pacer cells, pacemaker cells, and pacemaker cells. As you learn further, understand what exactly their roles are in the cardiac conduction system. Also, be sure to pay special attention to different types of nodes that allow for the heart to experience the process of depolarization as well as action potentials. It is this information that you'll be able to apply to interpreting an EKG. Remember, an EKG or electrocardiogram is simply a graph of the heart's electrical activity. It consists of 3 different waves, P, QRS complex, and T. As you continue through exercise 2-3, be sure to note what each of the different waves indicate, what the different time intervals are, and what they can indicate in an individual. After applying your knowledge of the cardiac conduction system by analyzing the provided EKGs, we'll be moving on to exercise 2-4. Now, in exercise 2-4, you'll be learning about measuring blood pressure and the different components involved in measuring blood pressure. Blood pressure is the pressure exerted by the blood on the walls in the blood vessels. As you learn more, you should understand what 3 factors help in determining blood pressure, the procedure and instruments used in measuring blood pressure, and the 2 types of pressure readings that are yielded from such procedure. To finish this exercise, you will be investigating and learning more about cardiac output. Cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped out of ventricle in 1 minute and is expressed as milliliters of blood per minute. It can be defined as the product of stroke volume multiplied by the heart rate. As you learn more about cardiac output, pay special attention to the factors affecting stroke, volume, and the factors affecting heart rate. At the end of this unit, you will notice review questions covering the material learned: the histology of cardiac tissue, anatomy of the heart, blood flow throughout the heart, the cardiac conduction system, and measuring blood pressure. Be sure to fill these out thoroughly using the knowledge gained, as these questions are the perfect review to prepare you for your practical. Thank you for joining me as we started to investigate the cardiovascular system, cardiac anatomy, and physiology. Have fun as you continue to dive deeper, and I'll see you for the next unit.